And here we go.
You are now listening to Beast Mode Mindset with Chrissy Renee. Chrissy Renee.
Hello, everyone, and it's Wednesday and Beast Mode Mindset. We're back, and so tonight we're switching it up a little bit. For those that are tuning in every Wednesday at 9, thank you. And so back in December, we had an awesome guest by the name of Christopher Brown, and so he's back with us tonight. But the twist is he's not just a guest. I'm not interviewing him again. He's interviewing me. And so I thought it only to be right that 2018, I let you guys know a little bit more about me since I'm always digging into everybody else's background and testimony. And so tonight I'm going to be the guest, and Mr. Christopher Brown, a.k.a. Breezy, who's a part of the Beast Mode Mindset team and behind the scenes, just an awesome friend. He's going to be hosting the show. So we're switching it up tonight, and it's just I'm so amazed to have him with us, and I mean it's all God, and you guys are gonna have to check out my page because he now has his own show. So it's one network, two shows, two hosts, but one show tonight, and so we're bringing it together, and we're about to sit back and chat up and have some fun. And you guys get to know more about me. So I'm going to hush and let Chris take it over and go ahead and, I guess, ask me the question. I'm so nervous.
Oh, man. What's up, man? What's up? Thank everyone for tuning in to Beast Mode Mindset tonight. Hey, I'm here. I'm your host tonight, guest host, Christopher Brown, a.k.a. Breezy. I'm going to ask Miss Chrissy some questions tonight, put her on the hot seat, and see what she can tell us about herself and about her business, about whatever else that she may have going on right now for 2018 as well as the future. So, we're going to jump right into it, man. We're not going to waste a lot of time. We're going to get down to the get down.
Okay.
She don't know what I'm going to ask her, but it's just going to be some stuff just about her business, a little bit about her background. And we're going to find out what or who inspired you to be the businesswoman that you are. And so, like I said, that is really going to be one of my first questions for tonight. Who or what inspired you to become an entrepreneur / business owner? Chrissy, it's on you.
Oh, my gosh. And you want to start there. Okay, so Chrissy Renee, the business owner, the entrepreneur mindset, it goes all the way back to, it goes to my mom, and then before that you have my grandparents, and then before that you have my great-grandparents. And so what I've come to learn and understand about just my history and my background, and where I come from, and this is just, and I'm starting with just my mom's side, not even my dad's side. There was a lot of things that took place back in the day. And so because of things and how things were set up historically and some things dealing with race, let's just be honest, my great-grandfather, he had one of the first stores in our area. And so even now to this day, you can be in the Eden, North Carolina area or Piney Fork area, and you hear Papa Ran, okay, so that's actually my great-great-grandfather, and people talk about his store and how he was just such an open and warm person, and how he connected with those in the community and those around him. So it goes back to that. I have aunts and I have uncles as well who done their own landscaping business. I have an aunt that's been doing taxes for years and years. She's done insurance. Just so many things. So that was normal talk in the family. And when you're little, you don't understand that business talk is business talk. You just understand to be, okay, this is what we do, and this is how we do it. And so I remember being younger and growing up, and this is elementary school. My aunt had a store, and matter of fact, it was behind the Winn-Dixie on the little strip. If anybody recalls, like being in Eden,
Yeah, I
before
remember.
Winn-Dixie closed down, there was a little strip. So you had like Robbins, the floral shop. You had a lot of small businesses, and Eden has always been known for that. And even now, although some big businesses have left, we thrive off the small business. A lot of people support each other, and if you can start it and make it here, you can make it anywhere. So my aunt, she had her. It was a store. She sold hair products. And she did taxes in the back. So it was like a 2-for-1. So you come in and get you some shampoo and conditioner. Me and my cousin, we were always taught to be respectful. So it's just like, hey, I wasn't old enough to run the cash register, but I could count the change and I could put some stuff in the bag. I can open the doors. We can say thank you, have a blessed day. Knowing, okay, at the end of the day, this is what we got to do with the drawer. This is how we got to calculate stuff. So it's like, I'm just showing you things come in. We have to do inventory, and not saying that we literally did every single thing, but that was go to school, and we thought that was fun. I thought that was fun, and I'm just like, okay, this is what I'm supposed to do every day as life goes on. And so my aunt, her name's Nancy Lewis, and she really inspired me and allowed me to be around it. And it was family ran. So you had my mom and my grandmother back there working as well. So we all pulled together, as family. And so to me, that's what kind of planted that seed right there. And then over the course of time, I did taxes with her. I learned plenty of things, and it goes all the way back to, okay, you're 6 and 7 years old, and 8 years old, 9 years old, and okay, so after school, this is what we did, and we thought it was fun. We got off the bus, or sometimes we went to Boys and Girls Club, but we wanted to hang out around. We started playing with envelopes and filling up stuff and doing stuff. Like, what can I do to help? Can I? What I'm saying, can I? So yeah, that's really how that came about, and she's one of many. I have another cousin who's ran a daycare for quite some time. So our guest last week, Rachel Neal, that was on. Like I said, it's in the family. It's been there for generations. So people have been able to successfully set up their businesses and impact others. And so I just naturally, was born into a family that had already. There were those that had already paved the way and set the standard and the bar high. And so for me, it's like coming through. I gotta live up to their legacy, but then I can't say top it, because I don't feel like there's no way to top that. But at the same time, too, I have a certain expectation and a responsibility to do just the same thing and build those same connections with people in my generation and in my community.
Okay. So it's safe to say that, like they say, you can tell someone how to do something, but they'll forget. But you can show someone, and they will remember a lifetime. So it's like safe to say that your family kind of showed you the way and paved the way for you to come up and running.
Oh yeah, most definitely. And even now, like that, it's two sides to it. It's not just the business. It's not just the business part, or you can have a business or start a business. But the other side was, okay, you got to have education go with you. You got to go to school. You got to get good grades. You need to push yourself and go as far as you can go. And if you start doing something that you're not used to, learn as much about it as you can. That doesn't mean that you have to be the expert, but make sure that you're knowledgeable in what it is that you're doing. Seek help from others, that have done it or in their area. And so always be willing to learn something, because a lot of people, when it comes to business, you're going to make a lot of mistakes. And sometimes you can avoid some mistakes by paying attention to those around you and those in front of you that have been in business for quite some time.
Okay, so with that being said, I heard you say something about going to school and making good grades and things of that nature. So what is your background and your education?
Okay, so I graduated from high school. I was the straight A. I ain't gonna say A on the roll, but the AB student. I took a lot of honors classes. strategic marketing honors. It was one of my favorite courses, and business law and ethics management. Because from being little, growing up, I always wanted to deal. I making. I love everything that comes to politics and things like that. And so that's just another, a part of me. And so when I left high school, when I graduated from Moorhead, being involved in so much there, like cheerleading, everything. Like I literally was one of those. I felt like I had to do everything. So there was like chorus, cheerleading on 3 different squads. I played basketball. Like I did it all. As much as I possibly could. And so by the time I left Moorhead in 2007, I went to the lovely stomping grounds in the lovely green, hit the yard at North Carolina Central University in Durham, North Carolina, and my major was political science and history. Now, I haven't finished. I'm back with them this year, finishing out. I had to take a break. There were some things that happened in my family. My mom got really sick, and so I had to transition back home to take care of my mom and be there for her. My dad, he had to make sure, going back and forth to work to make sure things are done. And so I still had a younger brother and a younger sister that were in school. And with me being the oldest, it was a decision that they didn't ask me to make because their thing was, as long as you're in school and doing what you're supposed to do, we have everything. But see, at the same time, too, the way I was brought up as a child, as much as my parents have bent over backwards for me and created opportunities, I'm never going to allow them to struggle either. And so I made the decision to transition back home and not just push forward with my own life and be selfish. And so, I'm not going to lie, I did resent it a little bit at first because I'm like, oh, my gosh, I'm back in Eden. I felt like it was a step backwards. But as time progressed, I really hit a spot, and I learned a lot with coming back. Say that I probably wouldn't have gained that experience and that knowledge being somewhere else. And so I call it the slingshot effect. Sometimes you have to pull all the way back to, to propel forward. And so that's how a slingshot does. You pull it all the way back. You put all that tension and you pull it to the back, and when you release, it goes further than it started off. It goes further than its original state. And so over the past couple of years, things have, when the slingshot gets released and the object is moving in the air, and that's the part of my life that I'm in right now, and I'm moving in the air. And so I'm transitioning, relocating, and I'm going back, but I'm going further than where I was at before. And I promise you, it's been a rough process on some levels, but it's been an awesome process in other ways, because I wouldn't change not one thing, which is a big thing for me to say. I wouldn't change not one thing that has happened in the past 10 years since, I made some choices. And I've been back in Eden since, age 21? I've been back in Eden since age 21. So I came back, I've been back about 6 years or so. So, 7 years. Lord, I'm telling my age now. So, because I'm
how old are you?
Yeah, I'm 28 now, and I can share it because Beast Mode Mindset is going to be celebrating my 29th birthday next month with me on February 27th, and so, I'm going to share it. I know it's like never ask a woman her age, but at the same time too, I'm like, why not? I'm just one of those people like, okay, what's the big secret? Like, there's a birth certificate, there's documents everywhere. So, that's where I'm at with that.
Okay, so it's safe to say, like I said, man, that you're also educated as well. That's dope, man. That's dope. You got a nice background, and you're following your education, finishing up with some things, man. That's what's up right there, man. But I also I was wondering, me being the man I am, man of faith as well, I wanted to throw that in there. What does your relationship with God? I know this is business and everything. I know this is definitely business, and we're still talking business, but at the same time, what factor does God play in your life and in your business?
I can honestly say God is at the forefront. At the forefront as it pertains to me and business and the things that I've been able to do. I recognize that every time I've tried to do something on my own, it's actually failed. And so it goes to let you know that you can't think you're doing some things on your own, but you're not really doing some things on it. And if you look up, you're probably just like in a hamster wheel and you're just spinning around and around and around and not actually getting anywhere. So you can be busy and not doing anything. And so, so there's some other things that I'm just like, oh, why it's not working, why this, forgetting who woke me up and who provides and makes a way at all times. If you lose sight of that, then you lose sight of what you're doing. And so, for me, my relationship with God, it means everything. It's not just about business, but for me, it's about being a parent, because I'm actually a mom and I have little ones. And when I say little ones, I have 3 little ones and 3 awesome little ones, 2 girls and a boy. And it's important that I have to lead by example. I know how I am and I know how I was growing up, and so it meant a lot to me when people would actually, it's not just something you talk to me about at church and you teach me at a Bible study, but when I can sit back and look at your life, and everything may not be perfect, but you still give God praise in spite of it all. And stepping out on the faith has been a big part of that. So my faith walk with God. I stepped out on faith at the age of, I want to say it was 6, when I first gave my life to Christ, and I got baptized on the Easter Sunday. So I recognized at an early age, like that, it just goes back to my foundation, and it goes back to how I was raised and my surroundings. And so, there was, instead of TV time, there's like, Grandma's going to read the Bible, we got to talk about it, we got to discuss it, we got to break it down. And I'm just like, Grandma, okay, I'm taking a nap. And then it's like, no, get, pop you on the leg, get up. Did you hear what I just said? Yes, ma'am, I heard what you said. You said da-da-da-da-da-da. She said, okay, you're repeating what I said, but what did it mean? And I'm like, what? Yeah. Okay. So, but, that's how a lot of that started. So being brought up in the church. But I say that to say this, though. Being brought up in the church and having that same setup inside the home definitely put a strong foundation in place. And so as I transitioned, even, at a young age, I get it. I know what I did. I stepped out on faith, and I went and I got saved, and, I accepted God as my Lord and Savior. And so I transitioned forward, and then you hit them preteen, teenage years, and see what you don't realize at 6 and 7. It's like, okay, well, if I give my life to Christ, everything's going to be perfect and great. And that's kind of what you're told sometimes when you're little. Let's just be honest. Like, that's how the stories are painted, and we talk about the good things. But then as you get older, you start digging deep into the breakdowns and what things actually meant in the Old Testament, New Testament, and different things. And so as I transitioned and life starts to happen, or you encounter other things, and I've never really been one I can say that I encountered peer pressure. I've always been kind of a little to myself when it came to certain things. I can be sociable, but I'm kind of like the introvert, extrovert, at different points. And during that time, I started to question some things like, God, like, you got to tell me what this means. And, of course, I'm saying it like this now, but at different times when things are happening in your family or happening in life as you get older, let's just be honest, you question God. And a lot of times it's like, well, you stepped out at 6, and this is what you understood, and this is what you've grown to know. And so I need to test you some more. I need you to go through some things to make sure you realize what you signed up for and what you're doing. And that's how I look at it. I can literally go back to those times and see that my faith was tested and it was tried in, at teenage years, preteen years, and then on into adulthood. And I promise you, if it takes more than an hour to tell everything that I've been through and how my faith has been tested, pride, but it comes in different forms. It comes in different ways at different times. And, when it comes down to it, as I start transitioning things as far as business, my thing was at an earlier age, I had a vision of some things that, well, some things were prophesied to me, but some things, came to me in the form of dreams, and some things, God had showed me over time, and I'm just like, I don't understand how that's going to happen, how I'm going to get there.
Okay.
No big deal, whatever. I'm just going to be honest, that's how the attitude came off, depending on where you at in life, and that's how a lot of times it will come off. And, he gets you right back in line, though, like, don't tell me whatever, because let me show you, let me show you once again just who I am. And so, really, he just opened some doors, but I'm going to be honest, the doors he opened, I had to go through some things for that. I had to, I had to lose some things, I had to gain some things back. I've had to, sacrifices. I mean, when you go through trials and tribulations, there's a lot of sacrifices that will be made. And so I literally, when it came to business and for me to have the success that I've even had now, and I know that's not even that's not even at its peak. I had to sit there and say, whatever it is you want me to do, I'm gonna do it. I'm being completely open. If you want to remove people out my life, then do that. If you want to remove a relationship out my life, then do that. Whatever it is that you need to do. And it's funny because you get to a point where when you actually say that, you just don't know sometimes the broken state that you can be in. And so there were times I got a little, chest poked out, and God has wore me down, and He had broke me back down. But it wasn't breaking me to sit there and for me to suffer. It was like, hey, let me reassemble you and show you the masterpiece that you are. And so He takes the pieces and puts us back together, which is something that only He can do because He created us in the first place. And so when it came to my when He reconstructed and moved some things around so I could even see it in the flesh and as well as the spiritual, now I'm able to move forward. And so the success of my business and the success of me as a woman and the things that I do now and as a mother is only a direct reflection of what God has done for me. So faith is really important, and that's why Beast Mode Mindsets is mindsets of faith. And the main thing with that is talking about how there's a transition of faith. I mean, if you are looking up faith in the dictionary, it's going to tell you that faith is just a complete trust or confidence in something or someone, and a strong belief in God. It's referring to faith as a noun. But if we take it to a biblical context and we talk about our lives and the transition and the change we've had, in growth, then you have to talk about faith as the noun and the verb, and that's what Beast Mode Mindset is. We were talking about the noun. A noun is a person, place, thing, or idea, so we get that, But what about faith as an action? Yeah. And so, if you break it all the way down and go back, faith comes from the word pistis, and that's the noun version of it. And so, pisuo is the verb version of it. And so when you're talking about noun, you're just, like I said, specifically talking about that belief and the faithfulness, that firm conviction that you have as it pertains to your relationship with God and the spiritual. But when you talk about it as a verb, it's talking about your actual trust in God, relying on Him, and committing, to that change, to being able to confide and to actually, you got to do something. And so, that's how I break my faith down into, not just into my life, but into what I'm doing and the different chapters and stages that I'm in. And so at this point we're talking about faith in my life as action, not just as a noun, because I understood what the noun part of it was way long ago. But faith as a verb, as action, is completely different and a whole nother level of faith than just the word itself, as we first initially take a look at it.
Beautiful, man. I like the way you put that, man. And as being a man of faith, a believer of God and His Son Jesus, it's just beautiful to hear the way you put that, and to know the impact that God has on your life and in your business. I know a lot of times, we can see, as in Hollywood or whatever, they don't talk about Jesus like that or whatnot. And I remember reading an article about how Tyler Perry said that the producers of Hollywood didn't want him talking about Jesus, but we see how successful that he is with his business and by talking about God and His Son Jesus. And I just think it's amazing to never forget and never sell out, man. We can't sell out on God, man, and all that God has done for us and all that God has allowed us to do. So, I was just wondering, that was one of my questions that I threw in on you, and I was just wondering, and I know it's almost time for us to go into take a break, but I wanted to ask you, how are you able to juggle your businesses in school and then a full-time mom? Like, how does that work? I know that there's power from on high to help you complete those tasks that you must complete day in and day out.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, it's 24 hours in a day. I'm busy at least 48 to 72 hours out of a day, which completely makes no sense. But if anybody knows how I think and how my mind works, and literally I'm on the road, so 9 times out of 10 when someone calls or I'm talking to someone, yeah, they're like, hey, what you do on the road, in transition. Yeah. So how I manage everything, I mean, I don't work completely for myself right now. I have at different points, and it's an awesome feeling. And so that is, of course, one of the goals. But I still work in corporate America, and I'm blessed to say I have a daytime job, so I'm not getting off too late. But even outside of that, I do work almost 2 hours away from where I originally lived. And so there's this, I literally probably have a team for just about everything. And so trying to manage and juggle, weekends I'm with the kids, I'm with family, I'm with friends. I try to divide up the 48 hours on the weekend, and then my one day off during the week. Every so often I try to divide that down and spend time with everyone, then carve out some time for myself. But my parents, they're awesome. My siblings, they're awesome. My kids, they have a great set of family on both sides. They have a awesome dad who goes above and beyond. And I can literally say this, and going back to faith, when I set out to do the things that God had given me the vision for, and that I'm working on now, doing now, and more to come, that was one of the first days, and I'm just gonna be honest. God can tell you something, but I talk to God sometimes. I have some real moments, I get on my hands and knees, I pray, I can do it all, but sometimes I talk to God we in the car, we on the phone right now, and I'm like, so you want me to do this, but how this gonna happen? This person ain't available, these people not available. Resource-wise, I get what you're saying, but do you remember I got 3 years, so how is that supposed to add up? That's, when I start doing the math and you'll drive yourself crazy, and then he'd be like, hold up, hush. And literally I have to shut up, because what has happened is when he wants you to do something, he makes a way. Not saying it's going to be perfect and easy for you to, because we get comfortable where we're at. And so I always ask God to keep me in an uncomfortable place and position so I can do what it is that I need to do. And so I had to get comfortable with spending that much time away from the kids. But what he did was some awesome people came into play to oh, okay, we got you. And you know why? It's because I see the vision, and you don't even have a clue. There are people that literally see parts of my vision, that are parts of the vision and my destiny and purpose that I haven't seen. And so they're holding those puzzles and those pieces. And so when we're all together, then it connects, and I go, oh, wow, but I didn't realize that this over the past 3 or 4 months was leading up to this, and you being able to do this and help me out. And all I can say is thank God, because in the midst of me having a whole meltdown and a tantrum like a 3-year-old on the side, because let's just be honest, we have the moments. Although I know it all about God and give him ultimate control, I still have a tantrum from time to time. It's natural. Like,
yeah.
So I'm sitting up there and I'm just like this don't make no sense. Like I can't even see. 30 days from now I don't need. Like I know what you did, but I'll be like, Lord, you tripping right now. Like, let's just be honest. I'll be sitting up there like, you tripping right now, because you trying to get me to do some extra stuff. I don't even know if I'm built for this. I don't know financially if this is gonna fall through or happen. And then I've literally over these past 30, 60 days have been sitting in some position where he goes, you financially had a issue. So watch me make this happen. Had no idea what meeting I'm going into, and I walk out with, let's say, more than a $5,000 increase. Okay. So
yeah, wow. It's
and
all God.
I was like, and I literally was in the midst of having a whole crying meltdown to myself, and it's like, okay, we got a meeting this morning. Oh, okay. Big what to do. Here we go, another meeting again. And bam, he drops in. It's like, okay, so you were saying what now? And I'm like, you know what? I can't even say nothing. Let me just hush.
Yeah.
Thank you, Lord, for making a way. Please disregard my tantrum, please. That's how I feel. So, I have to have some humor with you sometimes, because if you stress about every single thing in life, stress is the number one killer and leads into so many other things. You can't do it.
Definitely. Well, I know it's about that time, so we're going to take a little break. And before we take a break, I just want to let everyone know to stay tuned, man. We're going to be right back after this little break. And to get into some more of what Chrissy got going on for 2018 and her vision that God has given her and all of that good stuff. So stay tuned. We'll be right back.
Got me feeling real heroic right now, baby. Yes, this my 300 music. I'm about to get my Leonidas on, fam. Let's ride in, baby. You ride with me, baby. Let's get it. I got my phone on my own, my head to the sky. I'm going into battle with my own. Let's get it, man. High and I'm through playing games. You can see it in my eyes, and you can go and ask anybody. I'm real. And I ain't turning back. I ain't turning back. I ain't turning back. I ain't turning back. It ain't nothing that I ain't turning back. You ready, fam? I ain't turning back. I ain't turning back. I ain't turning back. No, I'm on my Luke 9. I'm daily dying. Holy Spirit, keep your boy while I'm on the grind. Full on my own, cause I know them darts flying. And I'm through playing games, homie, I ain't lying. I'm walking out the way that I had as a juvenile. But this the plan that God had before I was a child. I'm walking in my destiny, and he protecting me. I'm eating at a table prepared for my enemies. That's why, homie, I ain't turning back. You hear me? I ain't turning back. Only thing I'm turning back, homie, is my fitted. So go ahead and get your gat. You can go and cock it back. When Christ rose up out the grave, and he coming back. And one day I'ma rise with him, meet up in the skies with him. That's why I'm willing to live and even die with him. Brethren all over the world, my horns high with him. Even if it means I death, you know we ride with him. Yeah, my head to the sky. I'm going in the battle with my horns up high, and I'm through playing games. You can see it in my eyes, and you can go and ask anybody. I'm a ride, and I ain't turning back. 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 No.
Young bull flame in the church, about 17. Down the street, dirty things. Down the street, murder scene. So our whole regime hit them knees and we went witnessing. Our plan, lift the king. God's plan is redeemed. He brought my homie back. Now we back on the track, running the same race. We on the same track, for the same God who resurrected his son. Reflect on what he's done, ain't no backwards to run. Where will we go? Back to our grave. Leave a castle for some shackles and being slaves. They don't make no sense. No offense with the statement, none. That's just like a Jew begging for concentration camps. That's just like us black begging for segregation bags. That's insanity, beautiful Christianity. And true to the planet, removing all our vanity. God forgives, he flaming things.
I got my full on, my head to the sky. I'm going in the battle with my horns up high. And I'm through playing games, you can see it in my eyes. And you can go and ask anybody, I'm a ride. And I ain't turning back, 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 I ain't turning back. No, they said it wasn't worth it. That this was worthless. Ain't nothing but hypocrites sitting up in them churches. But I went to God's house and I found my purpose. Now my life's a sacrifice, fam, I'm living worship. Ain't nothing behind but death for me and enemy. That's it. A cemetery or a penitentiary. That's it. That ain't the way I want you to remember me. Never. Now they think of my Lord when they mention me. Homie, this is rider music, survivor music. And I wasn't forced to do this, I was built to do it. And I know it's war ahead, but God gon' get me through it. And I brought my cross with me, gone and nailed me to it. Cause I ain't turning back. I don't care if they got 50 ratchets at me, about to knock off my fitted hat. I ain't turning back. I don't care if they got 50 ratchets on me, gone and knock off my fitted hat. I got my full on, my head to the sky. I'm going in the battle with my horns up high. And I'm through playing games, you can see it in my eyes. And you can go and ask anybody, I'm a ride. And I ain't turning back, 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 I ain't turning back. I got my full on, my head to the sky. This war, baby, in the battle with my horns up. And when it's war time, through playing games, soldiers go to the front lines. And you can go and ask. But this one war, we don't gotta worry about losing. I ain't turning back, because it's already I ain't turning back, I ain't turning back. Then my God I ain't turning back, I ain't turning back. That's why we go in. I ain't turning back. No.
So, welcome back, man, to Beast Mode Mindset, man. This is your guest host for tonight, Christopher Brown, a.k.a. Breezy. And I'm interviewing,
Breezy.
interviewing a girl, Chrissy Renee, man. She's on the hot seat. She's answering all these questions that I'm throwing at her with a breeze. Make me think she practiced for this. But at the same time, man, we back from the break. Oh, man, I just love that song, man. It just got me ready to just, like, I don't know, handle some business.
Right, and, you know, that's what we do we do that every Wednesday.
Yeah.
It's a hype, you know, Chris, it's a hype session.
Yeah, man. That was dope right there. But, so now we're back, and we want to see what else Chrissy got going on for 2018. So with that being said, let us know some more things that you got going on. Oh, before we get into that, I want you to know I did some browsing on your Facebook, and I see you do a motivation. I see that you do some motivational speaking, like with many motivational speakers. With I got that's the two more questions I got because they just kept coming to me. Motivational speaker, the visions that God has placed in your heart to do. Now, I know that you have received a lot of slack from some naysayers and doubters. So what can you tell us to give us some insight and prepare us so that we can deal with some naysayers and doubters when we talk about the visions that God has placed in our heart?
Oh, Chris, there you go. Always taking it to the next level and turning up a whole nother notch. And like you really, like, you turning the heat up, I'm in the hot seat, and so, like, I'm baking over here. Like, let's just let everybody know how nervous I am, which is funny. Because when I'm on the other side, I'm like, hey, let's go, let's talk about it. But it is so important to stay focused. Everybody's not going to believe in your vision. Everybody's not going to see your vision, and you have to stay focused on what it is that you're doing and that God has given you. You have to keep that at the forefront and know that if, keep your eye on the prize, keep him first, and keep your faith in line. And to be honest, how I deal with a lot of that is I have mentors. I have male mentors and I have female mentors, advisors, people that advise me along the way. They represent and they hold different educational levels, different backgrounds, but they provide me with the necessary tools. And the number one thing they always remind me is to stay focused, even when it comes down to them, which is funny. One consistent thing I've heard even amongst them is just like, and as much as they are in a position to lead me and guide me, because all great leaders are also great followers. You have to remain open and coachable and receptive to feedback. They say, hey, don't let nobody get in your way, including me. And that's the reason they are my advisors and they are my mentors, because they're like, I am self, even though there are times that God may operate through me and use me, but he uses everyone, from the babies to the trees to the animals to everything. He uses because it's all his. And so, thinking about that and knowing that and having that positivity, and like I said, it's not just one. I have multiple, because they shed so much light, and me as a person, I'm diverse, and I've been through different things in my life, and I'm looking to get into different areas and do different things as I transition forward. So it's important to have those connections and that communication with them. And so that's how I deal with that. But also too, let's just be honest. Me as a person, I'm quite direct, and for me, that allows me to be able. I'm able to get my point across. But I'm understanding that I don't try to push anything on anyone. But being direct and being able to have that as just one part of my personality doesn't allow me just to communicate in a certain way, but it allows me to deal with things in a different way. And just as direct I am, I understand how I receive information and how it is that other people may come out with theirs. And so if I'm direct, I'm not the only direct person in the world. There are plenty others. And so I understand that there are those that will say things to your face, or those that say things behind your back, and things will come up in different ways. But I always reflect back and go back to what I've been taught, what I know I'm supposed to be doing, and to move forward in just that. And remember that it's not about me or anything else. There's someone out there that I'm supposed to reach. There's something out there that I'm supposed to do, and someone that I'm supposed to touch, and a change that I'm supposed to make. And although people say, hey, that's not a big change, or nobody else in the world is going to see it or know it, that's fine with me. Everything doesn't always have to happen on the large scale and the big magnitude. You need the small changes to happen here and there. You need those little wrinkles in time, and we've seen them in history and in different things, and even as it pertains to business. I mean, you move one thing, you change your address, you change your phone number, even when it comes to your business, and it may set you up to, unlimited potential for earnings or anything else, because you were able to move out the way and put it in a whole different aspect. So bringing it all the way back around, don't let no one else stop you from what it is that you're doing. Know who gave you that vision and your purpose, and move forward and just that, and allow God to be your guide, understanding that He doesn't look at time like we do in minutes and seconds. It's on His time. And so that's a big lesson itself that I've learned myself, trying things and they fall by the wayside. And sometimes at those points, listening to others and allowing people to get in my mind and to get in my head. And you can have a strong mind, but let's just remember, even strong-minded people have weak moments sometimes.
Yes.
And so it could be a rough day and you're to yourself and things are caving in on you. They might have said it 3 months ago, but for some reason on that day it pops back up like they right there in your ear. And so you like, come on now, come on. You know what I'm saying? So I look for positive things and positive outlets and other things to reflect into. So reading, self-development, as far as leadership skills, communication, understanding people and how they operate and personalities, because it takes me out of my comfort zone. It makes me a better person. And I have to do that because I have 3 little individuals that depend on me, and I have to be able to understand them. And they may have certain parts of my personality, but they're on their own individual selves as well. So, you know, I have to lead by example and be able to deal with things at a certain level, not just for me, but for my kids, and then those that I encounter and those that I look to motivate and inspire just by what I've been through. And, of course, my journey is not over, and there's plenty more that I'm going to go through in life as well.
Okay. So I hope you guys heard that, man. She's saying stay focused, stay on your journey, stay with positive people, positive vibes, and I know you said you like to read. I know I saw your reading collection. I believe a little bit of your collection that you're reading right now on Instagram a few days ago, and that's great, man. That's what we have to do, man, to stay focused and to keep our eyes on the vision that God has given us. And before we close out, I wanted to also ask you to tell the listeners, how can they reach you, man? If they want to contact you to get with Chrissy for an engagement or something, or just to follow you and see what you got going on, or be of some support, how can the listeners reach out to you?
Yeah, so as far as getting in contact with me, there's multiple ways. Now, if you want to, like, anytime anybody wants to do anything in regards to the show, you want to be a guest, you want to just, hey, you enjoy it, you just want to feedback or anything, you can always email us at beastmodemindset@gmail.com. As far as me and doing and speaking at different things, there is Ms. MD, Chrissy Renee, at gmail.com. So that comes to me that way. You can always put in Chrissy Renee on Facebook. You're going to get two things. You're going to get my normal page and you'll get my business page. And my business page is just composed of different things because outside of doing the radio show, I am an independent travel agent. And I do freelance makeup as a freelance makeup artist. And, you know, there's just a long list, but I believe in it. I believe in multiple streams of income, but we'll say that for another time, another show. But so you can connect with me on that business page, but also to Chrissy Renee on my normal page, my personal page, where you may see a picture of me and my kids, a picture of family. But generally I post between those 3. Beast Mode Mindset has its own page just for the show as well. And then we have the Beast Mode Mindset group, which I think is probably over 2,000 and some people. We're just different people, different walks of life, different things going on. We come in and we're posting. So feel free to join in on the group, post, add your friends, add family. It's just it's an open group, just positivity and talking about operating in beast mode, which just being your best self and stepping out on faith, and just doing it in different ways. It could be a motivational song, it could be a quote, it could be a video, inspiration for different things. It's all about positivity and having that community that even if you don't live in a place where it happens every single day or you don't know nobody, you can still plug in that way with us. And ChrissyRenee.com is in the works, and so It was up, but in about 2 more weeks, it's going to be relaunched, and there will be other ways to connect on there as well.
Okay, hey, that's dope, man. And so there you have it, guys. You got plenty of ways to contact Chrissy Renee, and I myself, Christopher Brown, Breezy, whatever you want to call me. I happen to be in contact with Chrissy Renee, and like I said, we with Beast Mode Mindset. I'm there. I'm with her as a friend, as a partner, and also I'm on that page, man, and it's truly a nice page, man. A lot of positivity, a lot of positive vibes, man. That's what we need, and it's just a beautiful thing. You know, I was just honored to be here tonight on the show, man, as a guest host, Christopher Brown, a.k.a. Breezy. And so I'm just going to kick it back to Chrissy Renee and let her close in the manner that she chooses fit.
Oh, my gosh. Oh, and Chris, now I can breathe a little bit. You know, it sounds like even though it may have not sounded that I was that nervous, I was, just because, you gotta understand, I'm like, oh, okay, Chris, like, what questions you want to ask her, this, that, third. You didn't tell me nothing. You were just like, oh, okay, I hear you. It's like, talk all you want to. Okay, I'll see you. Show tonight. All right. And so, like, I just want to thank you for taking the time out, because you just did a show tonight before this show. It's All God, and I was there supporting you with it, and then you're here and you host another show. So you have literally been busy this afternoon, and you've had a busy day as well. And so thank you once again, Breezy, a.k.a. Chris Brown. I did it backwards because I like saying Breezy. And you're an awesome friend and awesome person. I'm glad you were able to be the guest host tonight. It was fun. It was fun for me to switch it up and just be able to kind of talk a little bit and dig a little bit deep. I'm always digging with everybody else. And one other thing, just so others will know, Chrissy Renee, of course, is the name that I go by, and Renee is my middle name, and Chrissy is a nickname. But my real name is Crystal Lewis, and so, you know, either or. But as it pertains to business, it's always Chrissy Renee, and I just want to share that with everyone. So if anyone ever goes, is Renee her last name, or what is it? Chrissy Renee is the name I go by. It's my middle name, and Chrissy is the name that I got from my family. That group of entrepreneurs and go-getters, that's where that came from. Chrissy and then Renee, and it get collaborated, and I'm called Chrissy Renee, or just Renee, Crystal Lewis, Crystal Renee Lewis. If you ever got in trouble, because you know when you were little, everybody called, they call your whole name.
Yeah, man.
And so, it's amazing that you were able to tune in tonight and take time out of your busy schedule to host the show. Like I stated before, Breezy, you are a part of the Beast Mode Mindset team. So there's a lot of conversations that we have behind the scenes and discussing different things on just being a light and being there for others, because Beast Mode Mindset is we're there for males and females, and it's not catered more one way than the other. And especially us millennials, we gotta stay on top of everything that's going on in the world, and it's so much. But if we divide the task, divide and conquer, and we keep building this awesome community of positivity and motivation, and being dedicated to what it is that we're doing. I don't care if it was getting up and going to McDonald's, if it's getting up and going to work at Walmart, if it's getting up, I don't have a job today, but I'm going to help somebody. I'm going to hold the door for 20 people. Then you be dedicated to doing just that. You be motivated to get up and understand that somebody did not wake up this morning. There were plenty of people that rolled over and didn't get the opportunity to breathe new life, because that's what every day is. It's another day. It's a breath of fresh air. It's a new life. It's a new start. And so when you start looking at things like that, when you think about the time, I'm on the highway, a car almost hits me, and and then, oh, okay, I'm good. But think about the person that got hit in the car that didn't survive. The wrecks that you pass on the road and how life ended. Nobody knows the time, the day, nor the hour when it's going to be our last time. And so when you start looking at your life and putting things in perspective as to what it is that you need to do and staying on track, you don't really have time to waste. You don't have time to waste. And so we have to keep stepping out on faith. We have to keep making it just not this thing. It has to be action. And so actively putting your faith in God. And you know, this is Chris Renee, but this is Crystal talking, because up under everything, Crystal has struggled. And my struggles have made me who I am. And I wouldn't trade them for anything in the world, because I am the woman that I am because of what I've been through. And there's even still more to grow inside of this. And so this has been another awesome show at Beast Mode Mindset. Now, February is coming up, February 2018. This is February's Black History. Is our Then and Now month. We're talking about millennials. We're talking about music. We're talking about the transition. You know, we went from, you know, stomping and clapping, no piano, no drums, no none of that. And now we're all the way at the point of songs that we're listening. We listen to on Beast Mode Mindset, Christian rap, and there's been a transition, and you know, different types of music, you know, capture different people. And so this last song is one of my favorite, which is like the Beast Mode Mindset anthem, Motivation. We played it all of December, and it's always going to be the song that we go back to. The artist, G Bless, he's a Christian rap artist, and so he performed with other artists and other celebrities, and he's going to be a guest on the show next Wednesday, so you guys have to tune back in. We're going to be chatting and talking about some awesome things that pertain to music, get to know his story and how motivation came into play, his new album that got released as well, and we're leaving no stone you know, unturned, and we're just pushing forward through on the year. So it was another wonderful night. And so we're going to end out the show with Motivation by G Bless. You guys have a great night. It was a pleasure speaking. Thank you once again, Chris.
Oh, no problem, man. You guys have a great night. Oh, God.
I'm about that work. 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 Let's go. Not this time, I ain't giving up. No, yeah. Not this time, I ain't giving up. No, yeah. Not this time, I ain't giving up. No, yeah. Not this time, I ain't giving up. No, yeah. Get about my way. Better get about my way. Get about my way. Better get about my way. Get about my way. Better get about my way. Get about my way. Better get about my way. What up? What's happening? Okay. What's happening? 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 Let's go. This is pure motivation. Tell me why you waiting. Tell me why you waiting. Tell me what you waiting on. God, this is pure motivation. Tell me why you waiting. Tell me why you waiting. Tell me what you waiting on. Everything in life, I'ma go hard with it. 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 Push myself to the limit, no holding back. 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 Hands in the air, yeah, this is my moment. Hands in the air, yeah, this is my moment. Hands in the air, yeah, this is my moment. Hands in the air, yeah, this is my moment. Through damage, we me why you waiting. Tell me why you waiting. Tell me what you waiting on. God, this is pure motivation. Tell me why you waiting. Tell me why you waiting. I mean what I say and I say what you waiting on. You gotta go get it, don't sit down now. You gotta go get it, don't sit down now. You gotta go get it, don't sit down now. You gotta go get it, don't sit down now. Another level, take it to another level. 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 Do it, let's go. You can 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 do it, let's go. You are victorious. I am victorious. 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 Let's go, God. This is pure motivation. Tell me why you waiting. Tell me why you waiting. Tell me what you waiting on. God, this is pure motivation. Tell me why you waiting. Tell me why you waiting. Tell me what you waiting on. Do it, you can do it. No excuses, no more losing. Who you fooling? Keep pursuing. I can see it, I can see it. See it, no drama. I don't need it, I don't need it. This that hard work season, it's that hard work